how are you doing this fine sunny Thursday morning? I hope you're all feeling all right and tickety-boo. So Thursday mornings, I'm normally in Plymouth in Devon in my little hospital job. I used to be an acupuncturist full-time. I don't do any acupuncture work now, apart from on a Thursday morning, I have this tiny little clinic at this hospital and I treat patients that have been through head and neck cancers. It's a really random clinic I do, but it's really lovely. I give acupuncture to these patients because their saliva glands have been damaged during radiotherapy and sometimes through chemo, but certainly through radio. And the acupuncture really helps stimulate their saliva flow, which is really weird, huh? You wouldn't think about, well, you don't think about your saliva, do you? Unless you've got a hangover or you're really thirsty. But these patients have a real problem with lack of saliva. So that's what I'm normally doing at 20 to 11 on a Thursday morning. But my clinic, being non-essential, got cancelled last week for the first time. I still had to go in last week and do a load of paperwork and sign a load of people off. But yeah, it feels really weird to be here on Thursday. It feels like I'm skiving. Anyway, the reason I'm starting this vlog so late today is because I've just finished editing yesterday's vlog for you. That's now uploading to YouTube. I want to make some egg mayo to use some of these eggs up, and because Johnny loves the egg mayo. And I've also got those beetroot to sort out that Mum dug up yesterday. So let's crack on and get those jobs out of the way, and then we'll see what else we need to do. If you're making hard-boiled eggs, it's actually better to use old eggs. These eggs are only 2 days old. And being so fresh, they're actually quite tricksy to peel. So if you've got some old eggs that need using up, then hard-boiling them is such a brilliant way to use them up because those shells just fall off. Also, would you like to know how to test an egg to see if it's fresh or if you need to bin it? I don't know. Does everyone know that? I don't know. I might add that into today's video just because I'm trying to think of interesting things to show you guys. And don't forget, if there's anything you want to know about us or how we do things or anything like that at all, just please leave me some comments below. Let me know what you want to see, because I might reach the point in a few days' time where I have no idea what to be videoing anymore. So, cold water going on. Onto the hob. Alrighty, here's my little beetroot. They've been sat outside in the log shed all night and the leaves have started wilting, but they're still edible. And I don't know if you've ever eaten these. They're really nice. They're kind of a bit like, I don't know, a cross between, say, spinach and Swiss chard. But I want these bulbs, obviously. I want to get these roasting and I want to separate the leaves off. Now, I'll be honest, normally I throw the leaves to the chickens, but because we're not wasting anything at the moment. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hang on. That's the eggs need sorting. One moment, please. Let me just pour that boiling water away. Just chuck a load of cold water on there, just to stop the cooking and to stop the yolk from going grey. And I'm just going to chuck some ice in there, and then I don't have to think about them again. Okay. Where were we? So I'm going to cut the leaves off and I'm going to save them in this ear bowl. And I'm going to leave 1/2 inch to 1 inch of leaf stem on the top there. That's because there's a lot of dye in here. These obviously are full of bright purpleness. And if you cut any lower down, I found that it all just leaks out. So I kind of want that kept in there. As I was saying before, normally the chickens would get these leaves, but I'm trying obviously to eat a lot more of our own food. The chickens aren't going hungry, don't worry. They have still luckily got plenty of food in stock, so we're good. I'll just cover these in cold water because obviously these are covered in mud too, so we'll need to give them a proper clean off. But we'll just let them, and that will also help plump those leaves up, the ones that have wilted overnight. The cold water should help to plump them back up. Okay, now just pat them dry. Well, I'm going to peel this skin off once they're cooked. I just obviously wanted the bulk of all that soil off there. You can eat the skin, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that's, I guess, how we've always done it. And then cover, oh, that was, that was close. Cover with a little bit of foil, or if you've got a pan with a lid, then even better. And pop those in the oven. I'm doing them at 180 for around 2 hours. Check them after a couple of hours and just jab a knife in. And if they're soft and it goes in, then you're good to go. Okay, now to peel some eggs. Like I said, they're so fresh that the shell sticks like really well to that white membrane. when they're really fresh. When they're older, it just peels off in a great big piece, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to taste delicious, and I really can't complain about having fresh eggs, can I? Let's be honest. Okay, this is going to take me forever to peel these, so I'm going to switch you guys off, and I think I'm going to put a bit of Netflix on. See you in a bit. Hey little one, are you lost? Snails are so cute, don't you think? Look at that, he's really sweet. But you really don't want to live in my kitchen, sweetheart. Let's go put you outside. Hokey coke, time to make some egg mayo. This is how I make basic egg mayo. I'm sure you guys know how to make this. I'm sure you all make it lots, do you? I don't know. Is this a thing? Or is it just people that have chickens? So mayo, salt and pepper. This is my basic, obviously, egg mayo. I do make a coronation egg, which is egg mayo with some very sexy additions. I will no doubt make that for you in these quarantine diaries. I seem to be alternating between making this one for Johnny and the coronation egg. Actually, I'll leave a link for the coronation egg one below. It's down on the blog. It's amazing. But so he doesn't get bored of his lunches too quickly, because I need him to be eating eggs for the foreseeable. I'm going to just alternate the plain and the coronation. Okay, that's that done. Easy peasy. Let's get that in the fridge. Right, snap your mucky marigolds on, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go poo picking. Woo! Jup, jup. Come on, girls. I see you up in that dust bath. I've got sweeties. Come on, Chucks. Oh, I guess that's more for you ladies, huh? Yeah, that'll keep them busy while I'm in their house cleaning. Voila, all nice and clean for the girls. And I've just been collecting eggs. We've got 7 already so far. And in this nest box, this is from one of our original girls. And there were different breeds, that lot that we got. But as you can see, not only is this white, but this is from a really old lady. Oops, I've actually broken it. That top part of the shell, do you see how like paper thin that is? I'm actually going to throw this one away, because if that had broken in the kitchen, I would have been happy to use it, but you just don't know what bacteria is out here. So if I give that to the chickens, they will eat that with gusto. But then the worry is that you start training a chicken to eat their own eggs, and that's a massive problem if chickens start eating eggs. So if I'd left this in the nest, if I'd left this in a nest and another girl jumped in to lay an egg and broke it, she would have eaten it, and she might well have started getting a taste for eating eggs, and that's something you absolutely want to avoid. Oh, hi. Are you becoming a chicken? Is there something you want to tell me? It's funny, she won't come in here at all if the chickens are in here, but because I've shut the pot hole, she's like, oh, hello. Do you want to stay in here? No. What's this? Mum's cat loves eating raw egg, which apparently isn't actually very good for them. So it's a very rare treat for him these days, but Sassy's never liked it. Right, let me go and dispose of this before I move them, and this. When Johnny built the shed, obviously it was really wet. We've had months and months of rain. Now everything's dried out. I can't get the bloody latch to fit. I'm not quite sure what to do. How's that for a proper, neat solution? Johnny's home! That must mean it's lunchtime.
It must.
I was about to go gardening.
It's a little bit early today.
You are, aren't you? Are you bored?
Well,
Worn out?
I ran out of fuel in the
oh, what a shame.
So I couldn't bother to fill it up and carry on, so I thought I'd come
Early lunch. Good for you. Well, does that mean I can't go weeding? I've got to come and talk to you instead?
What you want.
Sounds good to me. Go put the kettle on, Johnny. So Mum managed to get a Sainsbury's delivery slot this morning, which is unheard of. Like, she hasn't been able to get one for 3 weeks, maybe, I think. So she got me a couple of bits too. I got 2 of these Chinese leaf-like lettuces, but they're like a really firm lettuce, and these things last way longer than your little gems or your remains or anything like that. They're really nice, and this white bit is really crunchy and delicious. Sorry, let me just turn that off. So I've got 2 of them. We've got some Branston pickle. That was the one thing that we both said, damn, I wish I had some Branston. And this is a small chunk one that is really good in sandwiches. I've got another big block of cheese. It's mature. I don't think they have the extra mature in. I got 3 little mozzarellas. You know, the ones like in water? I love these things, and I often eat these as a breakfast on the way back from the gym. I am that weird, it seems. But it's like, it's full fat, there's no carbs in it, absolutely delicious, and I really like them. And I've really missed not having these in the fridge, so I managed to get 3 of them. 3 is the maximum of any one grocery item you can currently get at Sainsbury's. And I also got, because if you're going to have the end of the world, you may as well have chocolate, right? This is my favourite chocolate. Actually, I'm going to do this just for you guys. Obviously, I wouldn't do this for me. They've got new packaging, so I assume these are the same as normal. They're just chocolate buttons, nothing very exciting about that, but they're dark chocolate. I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have milk chocolate. That would make me poorly. But these things, you see the way they're shaped and you see how thin they are. So they just sit on like between your tongue and the roof of your mouth, and they just like fit, and they just slowly melt into absolute chocolatey deliciousness. And I freaking love those. So I only got 2 bags. I'm not sure why I didn't go for 3. But there you go. That's my little treat to get me through the end of the world. Chocolate. Right, I'm going to put this away, and then I've got to go and do some weeding. Yay. Okay, that beeping was the beetroots coming out of the oven, and I've just recorded how to test if they're done, but I didn't realise that you couldn't actually see it. It was out of the shot. Basically, you just stab the tip of a sharp knife into the beetroot. If it just slides in like that, then they are cooked. I'm going to leave these in the pan to cool down while I go and finish off that little bed of weeding, and then I'll show you what to do with these when I get back. Opening these chocolates at 1:15 in the afternoon was not my finest decision. They are so good. Anyway, to the garden! Little baby carrot, anyone? Isn't that sweet? I think I might go and replant that one. There, that's that bed cleared. And then I think the next job is to weed the rest of this raspberry patch. Hey big fella, would you like to go out? You are massive. Wow. Mind your bum? You're very stressed, aren't you? Can you move your bum so I can open it? Look at him, what a beauty. There you go, sweetheart. Go on, out you go. You're going the wrong way, go that way. Go that way. He's gone. Alrighty, I'm back in the chicken run now, and this pile of, like, this lump, this hummock, I guess, of dirt here, this is actually a load of farmyard manure that we got delivered probably about 4 years ago, give or take. And it's great, and we did use some, but because we didn't get to it quickly, what we didn't realise is that farmyard manure is full of weed seeds. So it just became an absolute nightmare to actually get to the manure because, oh, we got thistles in it and we got stinging nettles in it. I mean, you can see, look at the size of this stinging nettle root. It's crazy stuff. So we kind of just left it. It was a part of the allotment that we didn't really use anymore, so we just ignored it. However, since we've been in here, and the chickens especially have been in here, and because the ground has dried out a little bit, as you can see, they have just been turning this over. So it's really easy now to pull all the roots out, and what is left is this beautiful, I mean, that is just pure compost. And we've been buying compost. Thank you, chicken. We've been buying compost, and ow, that was actually my finger, you little monkey. And I said to Mum, like, obviously we can't get out to garden centres, are all shut now. And they're trying to eat my ring and my nail. Oh my God, you lot are vicious. Ow, monkey. Anyway, we can't get out to garden centres. So I'd said to Mum, do you want some of this? So she said, yes, please. So I'm going to bag some up and go and deliver it to her. You are very naughty chickens. Very naughty. My mate Rick, aka Rick Van Man, he laughed at my wheelbarrow. I don't think he even clocked that it's got a flat tyre as well. It is pretty mullered. My advice to you, if you're ever buying a wheelbarrow, get a metal one. Like, what is the point of a plastic wheelbarrow? Absolutely ridiculous. Thought I'd better come and check out my little polytunnel. It's a tiny little thing, bless it. But I put some compost down a few weeks ago now and then promptly forgot that I'd done it. So it's all completely dried out. Oh, actually, no, if you go down, that's actually quite damp down there still. Yeah, that's not too bad. But there have been some seeds, some weed seeds that have obviously decided to start sprouting. So I'm going to give it a quick weed and then a good soak with the hose pipe. In here, all I grow is, this is my polytunnel, by the way. I'm very precious about my polytunnel space, especially because it's so tiny now. Oh, that's very interesting. I wonder what that is. Anyone know? Looks like it. I don't know what that is. Anyway, what was I saying? So in here currently, around the edges are some garlic. I am terrible at growing garlic, unfortunately. Chilies and tomatoes are my thing. Every year I leave my chili plants in and I cross my fingers that they make it through the winter. This one has made it through one winter, and do you know what? I think that looks like fresh sprouts in there. I think it might have survived this winter too. I appreciate it ain't looking all that happy right now. And those chilies, the yellow chilies, were green the last time I came out and cleared the plant. So they've ripened over the winter, which is quite interesting. So I will pick them. That dead grass looking thing in the corner and also in that corner, they're lemongrass. They didn't make it through the winter. What's around this side? Some more garlic. I won't, these look okay now. They'll be dead in like 35 seconds. I am terrible at growing garlic. This chili, he died. It's not surprising. They don't like winters. I should really take them inside. But this one looks like it might be hanging in there. I don't know. These were my three favourites anyway from the chilies that I grew last summer. So I gave them the chance. The others I took out because there's no point keeping a plant in here if it's not really your thing. And every year I grow different. Well, every year. Normally I grow different chilies. This year, I guess, I'm just going to grow whatever I can get hold of. Mum is growing all our seeds this year. Have I said that already? And obviously I can't go into her house. So unfortunately I can't go and film that for you. She will give them to me, or I will go and collect them when they're hardened off and when I can plant them out here. But that's a few weeks away yet. But I figured I'd get this all nice and ready for when I can bring those tomato plants in. So I dumped a load of my own compost in here a month, 2 months ago. And this is, you know when you buy herbal tea bags and they come in that little paper like envelope and your little tea bag is inside it? I just chucked them in the compost bin because I assumed they were paper. They're actually lined with plastic. So all throughout my compost is a ton of these damn little plastic envelopes. I'm so annoyed about that. Why do they need to put them in plastic envelopes. Like, they're in a box and the box is wrapped in plastic. Why bother? That really winds me up. And I'm finding, like, I haven't drunk herbal tea for years, but I'm finding these all throughout my old compost. Wind your neck in, herbal tea producers. There's no need. We don't want plastic. Patty and Clive, this is just for you. And just so everybody else knows, this is Johnny, and Johnny is giving Patty and Clive a little lesson on how to sharpen a chainsaw.
Right, sharpening a chainsaw. Best thing, this is the way that I do it, and the best thing that I've found is to buy yourself one of these little kits, which has everything in that you need, bar a pen, marker pen. You need to get the right size file for the chain that you've got. That I can't help you with. They're all different, but it's essential that you get the right one. On these, I like to put a highlighter on the different angles, and all that you do is you start off by locking the chain, and then you place on that angle at the front, and all you do is pass across, lift out, pass across, keeping it at the same angle every time. What you need to do is to count how many times you do it, because you need to replicate that exact same passes on each one so that the wear is all the same. What you're looking for is a very sharp point on the end here. If your chainsaw hasn't been sharpened, then it's likely to be very dull there, and you'll need to sharpen. You'll need to go across many times to achieve a sharp point on there. If you hit anything then with a chainsaw, then that it rubs off all these corners, nearly always all of them, because the chain goes around so fast. But yeah, so that goes, and then all I do is release the brake, pull back, put the brake on, same number of passes, however many you need to do. And the important thing with chainsaws is to keep them sharp, because then they're working best. So if you do like a few hours work with them, then it's best to just go over the once, just to keep that all nice and sharp. As well as sharpening, you have this other file in the kit, and you also have this depth gauge. As you sharpen the chain, it wears out the tooth. As it wears out the tooth, it's coming back on itself, so you need to file down the guide. What the guide is doing is setting the depth for the cutting. So if that wasn't there, it wouldn't cut, because that has to be set at the right height, if you see what I mean. Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining that bit. So anyway, what you do is place that over and then just file down to that point there. It's not something you need to do every time. It's only about every 5th time that you sharpen the teeth that you do this, and there's one in front of every single tooth, and it's just a case of putting that on there and filing it down so it sets that height at which it cuts. Hope that makes sense. There are different ways to sharpen a chain. Some people use power tools. You can get this little bench thingy. A lot of people say not to use that because it warms up the metal, which makes it softer, which makes it run out, the wear down quicker. But I like to do them by hand with one of these.
Fab. Thank you, Johnny.
Little chain like this, you can do it in like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Do the whole thing. It's obviously a bigger chainsaw with a bigger bar on it. It takes longer. But,
and if you're chainsawing every day, like you are at the moment, all day, how often are you sharpening it?
I sharpen about once probably twice a day if I'm using it all the time. Wow. Yeah. But it's only if I haven't hit any barbed wire in any of the trees or anything, then it's just one pass. It's just to keep that nice and sharp so that everything is running efficiently. One thing I have just forgotten about is when you first start sharpening, just make a little mark.
Clever, so you know when to
tooth.
stop.
So you know, as you work your way round, you know where you're coming back to. So there. Yeah, that's what the pen's all about.
Very cool, Johnny. Thank you,
And
Clive. Does that help?
Side and then do that side.
Oh, you got to turn it around and do it again.
Yeah, well, you've got one tooth is facing that way, one tooth is facing that way. The ones that are facing, you're always sharpening away from yourself. So when you turn it around, you're sharpening that way.
Okay.
You can't do them both. You can't go at the wrong angle. Yeah, it's probably something else I should have mentioned.
Cool. Awesome. Clive, does that help? If not, please pop down in the comments underneath this video. Johnny will be keeping an eye out for your message and he'll go and answer any questions that you may have on it. Johnny, you rock. You may go and shower now.
Thank you.
Man, I am finding some well dodgy angles for this camera. Sorry if that angle is making you feel a little bit seasick. Okay, beetroot. So this is what I do with my beetroot. I chop off that, and these are stone cold now. I actually had forgotten all about them. And then so you top and tail, and then you can cut or peel the skin off. And be warned, this will turn your manicure purple. It's always extra special when you go to the allotment and you dig something up that you'd forgotten about, or that's self-seeded and grew somewhere you didn't even know it was growing. It's kind of like, whoa, free food. We like free food. And Mum, if you're watching this, thank you for these beetroot. They will be much appreciated. When there is a crazy ass tractor outside your kitchen window spraying lime. Alrighty, I have mixed the egg mayo with some chopped up beetroot. It looks like dessert. Let's see what it tastes like. I was expecting this to look pretty. Doesn't look pretty, but the taste is in the pudding. Taste is in the testing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm tired again. Oh my God. That is amazing, actually. Not even making that up. I do love it when an experiment pays off. That is superb. Give that a try. Chop up some beetroot into your egg mayo. Not the beetroot and vinegar. I don't imagine that would work very well. Anyway, I think I'm going to tie this vlog up now, because whenever I sit down to edit these, like, I get half an hour's worth of video out of it, and I don't quite know how, because it doesn't actually feel like I've done anything today. I hope you're enjoying the little quarantine diaries. Please let me know if you are. Feel free to whack the thumbs up, actually, if you are. I'll see you down there in the comments. In the meantime, you guys stay safe and look after each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Over and out. Quick update, I'm not really going anywhere because poor Johnny is stood here, and inside this shoe is a little mouse. Oh, look, you're so pretty. Sassy, grab the cat. Yeah, this situation doesn't look good. Let me grab this little horror. You see it?
Oh, great. It's had a piss. It's had a wee in my shoe.
Oh.
Oh, look.
Oops.